Hi, this is Chris Hicks. It's Friday, August 25th, and I wanted to put out a little video talking about public participation within our commissioner meetings in Clermont County. I've participated several times. I wasn't even aware until August 16th that they have rules about participating and documented rules of some sort. And in those rules, it's called Rule 3, and it has three parts. It says that the request must be submitted in writing. It says the board reserves the right to refuse the request, and it says if the request is granted, the members of the public shall be assigned a date to present. So that's what it says in the rules. I didn't even know these existed until August 16th. So at the August 23rd board meeting, I actually asked during one of the breaks, what's the deal with public participation? So you're going to see that in a second. I put the video in here, a couple edits. But I wanted to talk about these rules just a second. Our commissioners have a meeting at which, at the very end of the meeting, is when there's public participation. I went back through time and was looking at when they did and didn't call for public participation. To be honest, they rarely call for public participation. Then I realized the reason why is there's no public in the room when they get to the end of their meeting. Because if you remember, the way that it works is they have their whole meeting, then they have executive session. You have no idea how long they're going to be gone. They're out of the room, you have no idea. Then when they come back, it's public participation. So most of the time when I've been there, I'm the only, I think all the time, I'm the only public person in the room when they come back from their executive session because everybody else is already skedaddled out of there. So this is their official role that I didn't even know existed. The first thing it says, the board reserves the right to refuse a request in whole or in part. I don't think that's even legal. So it's public participation at the end of a meeting, and we're all the public. The citizens are the public. And I actually have given them a reference. There's a thing called the Ohio Attorney General's Yellow Book. It's Sunshine Laws, and it has to do with open meetings and public records. And it has a footnote on one of the pages, page 98, footnote 968. It says, I'm going to pick up from here, ORC 121.22, that's what requires meetings to be public, does not require that a public body provide the public with an opportunity to comment at its meetings. But if public participation is permitted, it is subject to the protections of the First and 14th Amendment. What does that mean? You have free speech. They're not allowed to censor who's allowed to present or the topics they can talk about, especially not for political reasons, as was done with me when I was kicked out of the meeting on July 26th. So that's one part of their rules that I question the legality of it. But I want to hit on this part is what I want to focus on. It says, if a request is granted, that member of the public shall be assigned a date and time to appear before the regular session of the board. I never knew this existed. I just raised my hand. You'll see I put some clips together at the end. They say, is anybody here from the public that wishes to participate? Raise my hand, and they ask, who are you? Okay? So, but if you read this, they should have a list up there of who has been assigned to present at this time, if they were following their own rules. The only time that I've ever seen this followed is because of me. Because on August 16th, they told me I could present, and I actually asked for more time, and I cited their own rules. So within Rule 3, it says, there's some subpoints. One of the points says, each member of the public who appears before the board shall be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes. But then there's a point 4, if in matters of exceptional interest, the board may, by majority vote, modify or suspend the time allocation. So I had asked for 10 minutes and to be able to use the AV system. And it's the only time where I actually gotten a note telling me, you know, you're scheduled Wednesday, August 16th for 10 minutes, okay? So I'm the one that actually compelled them to start using their rules. So in what you're going to see in the video, I asked them, you know, what's the deal with the rules? And then they informed me that they've always followed their rules. So it's another example of, to me, part of the baloney of all this stuff. Frankly, you know, there's no public in the room. I don't know what, they only have rules to try to restrict people. And that's when you know your government's being taken away from you. When the rules are meant to restrict you versus the rules are meant to empower you. So you gentlemen are no longer having public participation in the commissioners' meetings anymore?
There was no request request.
Okay. So from now on, you're going to follow the procedure? Okay.
Actually, we've always followed the procedure that we only have public input if there's a 24-hour written notice. We're at the public participation section of the meeting. Any public participation? Now we're at the public participation point of our session. Do we have anybody that would like to participate? Public participation portion. Is there anything, any public that would like to present?